Ospf is the most popular IGP in enterprise networks. In this video, I will show you how you can configure Ospf using Enterprise SONiC, software for open networking in the cloud. Before jumping on the switches and start configuration, let's have a quick look at some of the important commands you need to enable Ospf on Enterprise SONiC. This is all the configuration you need. So in the global configuration mode, you enable Ospf with this router Ospf command. You assign a router ID. Usually this is the IP address from a loopback interface. This next command is optional. So if you do not issue this command, you do not manually configure reference bandwidth, the default in SONiC is that a 100 gig link will have a cost of 1. So if in your network, you are not going to have 400 gig links, you're just going to have 100 gig or smaller bandwidth link, then you're fine. You don't need to issue this command. But if you planning to have 400 gig link, then with the default reference bandwidth configuration, Ospf will see 100 gig link and 400 gig link as same, Ospf cost of 1. You do not want that. In that case, the recommendation would be that you configure this command, and with this configuration, the cost of a 100 gig link will be 10 and the cost of a 400 gig link will be 2.5. So lower cost is better, and SONiC switches will be able to prioritize 400 gig links. Okay. The next step is interface configuration. So fairly simple. You go in the interface mode. I'm using IP unnumbered configuration because it just makes configuration very simple. It also makes automation easier, but you can equally use IP address and a specific IP address here. That also works. This is the command that you need to enable Ospf, IP Ospf area and the area number. And finally, this IP Ospf network point-to-point command. So why you need that? There are two benefits of issuing this command. Number one, by default, Ethernet is treated as a broadcast link, which means there will be a DER-BDR election, which means that there will be a 40-second delay before the neighborship between the peers will come up. If you want to avoid that, 40-second delay, which, everybody should, then you can just configure this command and designate your Ethernet interface as point-to-point link. No DER-BDR election there. Second benefit, on a point-to-point link, we do not advertise type 2 LSAs. Only type 1 LSAs are advertised, which means that the Ospf database is going to be lean, which would result in faster convergence time. So because of these two benefits, I would recommend that you enable IP Ospf network point-to-point command on your interfaces. So that's all the configuration you need to enable Ospf on Enterprise SONiC. Let's jump right into the lab. Okay, so this is the topology that we are going to use for our lab. 2 leaf and 1 spine switch. They're all connected through 100 gig links. This is the configuration I have for my leaf 1. As you can see, the loopback 0 has IP address of 0.1, as I mentioned here. So let's copy paste all this configuration in one go if I can. Let's try if it works. Leaf 1 configuration and paste. Okay, looks like it worked. Let's verify. So, and now you can, in Enterprise SONiC, in the CLISH mode, you can look at specific part of running configurations, certain sections of running configurations. So show running, Ospf will show you global configuration of Ospf. So we can see Ospf is enabled, and this is the router ID for Ospf. Show IP OSPF neighbor. I can't see any neighbor because nothing is configured on spine. Show IP OSPF interface, another interesting command. It only shows me loopback 0 at the moment. I can see on the loopback 0, OSPF is enabled, but we also enabled it on Ethernet 56. Why it doesn't show? Is my configuration there? Show running interface Ethernet 56. Yes, configuration is there. I've done no shutdown as well. So why it doesn't show? Because the interface is not enabled, is not up from the spine side. So if I do show interface status and grep for this interface, you'll see that Ethernet 56 is up, down, because admin up, but link is down because we haven't configured our spine. So let's go and do configuration on our spine. The only difference is the IP 0.3. So I'll do that here. 0.3. And the interfaces are 96. As you can see here, 96 and 100. Very similar configuration. That's why I like this unnumbered interface. Configuration is fairly simple. See, 100. Okay, let's try copy pasting all of this in one go if it works. Spine, configuration mode, and okay, looks like it worked. To run OSPF. OSPF configuration looks okay. Show IP OSPF interface. Looks good. Now, one of the things that I want to point out here is that, for example, Ethernet 96, look at the cost, 10. It's 10 because of this auto reference bandwidth that we configured. And look at the cost of loopback 0. Cost is 100. Okay. Let's look at the let's look at the OSPF neighbor, show IP OSPF neighbor. And we have an established neighbor. We are in full state. And this is 0.1, which is leaf 1. This looks good. Are we learning any routes? IP route. Yes, we are. So this is an OSPF route, which is the loopback of my leaf 1. Look at the cost, 110. So how this is calculated? Loopback, cost of loopback was 100. We just had a look at it. And the cost of this link is 10. Similarly, when this 192.168.0.1, when this address, when this advertisement will be available on leaf 2, cost should be 100 plus 10 plus 10. The cost here should be 120. We'll verify it. So let's go and do configuration on leaf 2. The IP on leaf 2 is 0.2. So 0.2 and 0.2 here. And this will be 56. There is just one interface. That's all the configuration for leaf 2. So let's copy this configuration and paste. Good. It is accepted. So show IP OSPF neighbor. Go directly there. No neighbor yet. Show IP OSPF interface. Okay, Ethernet 56 is up. Cost is 10. That looks good. It's IP unnumbered. Loopback 0 is also configured for OSPF. So that looks good. Show IP OSPF neighbor once again. And there we go. We have the neighbor relationship. Okay, so let's look at the routing tables, IP route, and we can see that we are receiving 0.1 from leaf 1. Let's look at the cost for 0.1. You can see this is 120 as we discussed earlier. And 0.3, which is advertised by Spine, and the cost is 110. Good. Last check, we will quickly ping both the IP addresses, 192.168.0.3. Can't type. We can ping Spine. And now let's ping leaf 1. And we can ping leaf 1 as well. So that's all the configuration you need to enable OSPF on Enterprise SONiC. If you have any questions about the topic we just covered, please let us know in the comment section. In our next video, we will show you how you can configure MC lag between two SONiC leaf switches. Until then,